So this is the second in the Dark Night of the Soul series. I don't know if there'll be a third one or not. But the first one went, for me, what is viral. It's like it had 2,000 views or something. I don't know why. It must be something to do with the title. So that's what this is called as well. And it's to do with those periods of major change that we go through, or we can go through. Yeah, you see it with these major transits, Pluto or Neptune mainly. They're the long, fundamental ones. So the sun, the moon, or the angles, they're the main places, the most fundamental places, the biggest places in the chart. Um, but sometimes you see people and they have these major transits and nothing happens. They don't want them to happen. I know one person, he just, it would all go to pieces. So you just throw money at it, or you know, your wife leaves, we just find another one. It doesn't matter, you know, you just get another one. Yeah, you don't learn anything from it. That's the point. Is you can learn so much because your life no longer works the way it does. And if you're unlucky, you're able to somehow scrabble it together and put it back how it was. But if you're fortunate, in a bigger, deeper sense, you can't. Something new to be found. This is a challenge. This is when you feel you're really alive. It's when you rise to this new life that is wanting to be born. Maybe after years of struggle and of being cooked. And I talked about it last time in terms of seizing the moment when it comes. That you can spend years in this difficult breakdown process, this demolishing process, this dismemberment process, and there's a certain point at which the new life is there to be seized and to seize it. But there's another way of looking at it, and that's what I'm after this time, and that's well, what is it that you're seizing? That's what I want to look at. What is it that you're seizing? And the reason this thought has come to me is because three people have told me in the last few weeks, so there's a pointer. They're all musicians, two singers, one violinist, and they're all realizing they need to step outside the rules of their training and do something that's their own. I thought, yeah, that's another way of putting it. Because, okay, it's like you're seizing something new, but what is it? Yeah, it's normally around some kind of activity, something that you do. That's how we live. That's how we know ourselves. It's through things that we do. Um, we're not just purely inner beings. We're this relationship between inner and outer. And this is a crucial stage when you start to do it your own way. Now, the way one person put it was, well, you know, they'd been told they needed to start improvising with their instrument. And of course, that feels superficial. That's the thing. It feels you've got this great tradition behind you. Yeah, these great musicians, this complex system of how you play, and you're just shifting into improvising. Well, that just seems like practice, doesn't it? That seems just like superficial before you get back to the real thing, which is the tradition. Tradition can feel really solid, substantial, deep. It makes you feel like you're a good person to be aligned with that. And in a way, there is a certain amount of truth in it, but it is only the launch pad. It's only the launch pad. Because when you improvise, whether it's in music, whether it's in astrology, whether you're a painter, um, whether you're stepping outside the rules of poetry and writing free verse, yeah, there's something of you comes through that can never come through when you're just following the rules. At least it's very difficult for it to come through. And this is that same point in that major Pluto or Neptune transit. It's where something of you starts to come through. It's new, and you've dared, you've had the courage to start doing something that is your own. Mary Oliver, her poem "The Journey." One day, you finally knew what you had to do, and you began, though the voices all around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble, and though you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, they cried, but you did not stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind with its stiff fingers pried at their very foundation, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night. The road full of fallen branches and stones. But slowly, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to shine through the sheet of clouds. And there was a new voice that you began to recognize as your own, that kept you company. As you stepped deeper and deeper into the world, determined to save the only life you could save, which is yours. I missed out a line there, but you get the point. Determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save, which is your own. Yeah, you save your life when you seize this thing. Yeah, if you keep on going round and round in the tradition, in what you've learnt, some people do that their whole lives, and maybe they just loosen up a little bit. Yeah, I've seen this. I was part of a Buddhist order until I was 40, and then I bust out because it was based around doing things the teacher's way, and that can only take you so far. Eventually, you have to find your way, but that's not a superficial thing, it's a deep thing, and people will see you as a heretic. It's the same with astrology. You see people aligning themselves with the tradition. Well, what did William Lilly say 300 years ago? I know what William Lilly said, and I'm terribly intellectual. I know this, and there was all these other guys as well. Ficino, they chuck all these names around. It's like, okay, but what's coming from you? What's coming from deep within you? Yes, we need to learn those rules, but we need to wing it. I've been winging it with astrology for years. And when you wing it, calling it that, there's something of you. So people's response will be that there's something authentic about it because it's coming from you, and they will listen. And that's the new life. It can also be expressed in terms of the shift from Capricorn to Aquarius. They're both ruled by Saturn. Capricorn learns the rules. He masters the tradition. And it's important to do that. You do need to master what you do. Yeah. You might have to if you're an Aquarian, you might have to get over your rebellion against it. But at some point, you might start off by doing it your way, and then you have to go back. That's fine. Yeah, if you're an Aquarian, you might do that. But you master the tradition. That's Capricorn. And then out of that, you earn the right to break the rules. Yeah, you've got this solid foundation in your Saturn-ruled Capricorn. And then you make the move to Aquarius, which is also ruled by Saturn, but also by Uranus. And Uranus comes in and starts to bust up that foundation, yeah, puts cracks in it, yeah, so that something of your own can come through. So that, if you like, is the pattern. And it's a crucial point. It requires courage. It can take us many years to get there. We do a bit of it, and then we step back. Or we do a lot of it. I did this with the medicine wheel. I wrote a book on the medicine wheel. And I just took this teaching. I'd had no traditional teaching. It's Native American. I could be accused of cultural appropriation. I'm sure I could. Yeah. But I went and did it. I did the only thing I could do. I saved the only life I could save. Because in a way, you are saving your life by bringing that thing out. That's what we need to do. There's something we need to claim. It's not so much when we think we need healing, it's like often it means becoming whole. Yeah, it means claiming something around which everything else will sort itself. So good luck with it. Whatever it is you do, claim that thing that's your own.